My husband cheated on me with my best friend, and now they want me to bake them a cake. 5 years ago, I married someone who I loved with all my heart. We met in college, and right after we graduated, we got married. I decided to stay home because my husband made a lot of money. I gave him everything. I supported his business, cooked for him, cleaned for him. I basically babied him, but was happy to do so because I loved him. I thought if I was a good wife and nurtured him, he would love me back. For 5 years, it was good. Until I discovered he was cheating on me when I found a random receipt from a hotel. I investigated a little and found out he was in fact cheating on me, and with my best friend Kylie. I was betrayed by two of my closest people. Kylie gave me a vague excuse that she didn't want to hurt me, but she just fell in love with him. My husband's excuse was, "You don't make me feel special anymore. You're boring to me, and you let yourself go." I agree, I was a little chubby back then because of my medicines, but I wasn't obese or anything. Also, I was always too tired from doing everything around the house to even bother trying to work out. I tried the path of reconciliation but failed, and he left me for Kylie. It really brought me back to reality. I suddenly realized I was surrounded by toxic people, and cut many of them off. After all was said and done, I only had two people I could truly confide in. Their names were Josh and Marie. I was really devastated. I felt like without him, I was nobody. I lost my husband, my best friend, my house, my life. I had to stay with Marie for a while after, and she eventually offered me a small job in her catering business. I loved food. When I was married, I would try and make something new and special every night. Cooking was always very therapeutic to me. During that time, Marie's mom gave me some useful advice. The average human lives for 75 years. You're 27. Are you really that stupid that you're going to waste the rest of your life being sad over a man who never loved you? Her words really stuck with me. I felt a lot better about myself going forward. My husband's infidelity left me with some serious trust issues, so I didn't bother dating for a long time. I decided it would be best just to focus on myself. I socialized with a lot of people while I was catering and made a lot of connections. Since I was younger, it had always been a dream of mine to own a business. Since I loved creating food, my friend gave me the idea to start a baking business. Marie was a saint, and helped me get my business off the ground. Within a couple years, I had built up a successful business. It was small, but it had very loyal customers. I started feeling more like myself, knowing that I was working under my own terms. It was liberating. I hadn't realized how much extra free time I now had, since I didn't have to care for a large human anymore. My house was clean. No one was putting dirty laundry on the floor. No one was telling me to make something else because they weren't in the mood for a certain dish. Nobody put dirty dishes in the sink. I started to embrace this solidarity. I know it doesn't seem like much, but it was a relief. Moreover, no one questions me whenever I go out. I don't have to answer anyone before going out. I could spontaneously go on a long drive, and not have to ask for permission. I learned a new language in my free time. I focused more on the family and friends that genuinely loved me. I was doing so much better. Getting dumped made me see a lot of the red flags I missed in my marriages. I used that as a lesson to steer clear of any trash men in my life, and tried dating for a while. I met a wonderful man named David. He was everything I wanted in a boyfriend, and 3 months in we had already begun talking about getting engaged. I now see my divorce not as a curse, but rather a blessing. Recently, I got a call from Kylie saying that she regretted marrying my ex. I was honestly shocked. She said he never appreciates her and always puts the burden of everything on her. They have 2 kids now, and my ex refuses to help with any of the chores. All the while I'm thinking, why the hell should I care? She's always tired and exhausted after taking care of 2 kids and an adult all day. I was just glad I didn't have to deal with that crap anymore. I simply told her, "You said you loved him, so it isn't really my problem, is it? What's the point of coming to me now?" She started telling me she was sorry, and wished she hadn't done what she did. She then dropped a bombshell on me. She mentioned that her son was having a birthday, and wanted me to be the person to make her cake. At first, I told her no, but then she said it would be a huge order. I asked how huge, and she said there were going to be at least 250 people to feed. Now I don't know about you, but I have never heard of a birthday party this large before. I was stunned when she told me the number, and asked if she was serious. She confirmed, and I asked her to give me some time to think about it. While I really don't want to have any more contact with this woman, I also know that I could be exposing my bakery to hundreds of people by taking this order. It feels wrong that I want to help out the people who ruined my life years ago, but at the same time, money is money. Maybe it was the businesswoman inside me talking, but I accepted the offer, under the condition that she would have someone talk for her. I had no interest in speaking with this woman any more than I had to. A couple days later, I got a message from someone who said they were going to be the middleman for the transaction. He sent me the full list of items, and boy, was it long. In total, they wanted 6 large vanilla cakes, 1 extra large gluten-free chocolate cake, 4 large regular chocolate cakes, a huge order of my specialty donuts, and an ungodly amount of assorted cupcakes. All in all, it came to about 50 pounds of food, and they wanted it ready within a week. When I saw the list, I went a little pale. At this point, I had David, Josh, and Marietto help me. I only had a few employees in my store, and one of them was a part-timer. I resorted to asking around on Facebook, and eventually gathered a mixed team of volunteers and paid employees, who would only be helping with this single order. Like I said, I had amassed a loyal following at my store. We lived in a small town, so the majority of the town knew of the birthday, and many people wanted to help me for the experience, or just for the fun of it. My ex happened to be head of one of the largest corporations in town, so everybody knew him as well. This was why there were so many people showing up. Well, the day of the birthday came, and we delivered. We had to rent out a truck just to port all of the food. When we got there was already a table set at the venue. David knew about my ex, and came with me to be there if anything happened, and to keep me far from either of those two frauds. As I was busy setting things up, my ex came up to me to say hi. I'm not gonna lie, seeing him after so many years just made my heart drop. This man has given me the worst pain you could possibly give to a human. I am glad I was able to keep my composure. I said hello back, and he tried starting small talk. He said he was sorry about how things went down, and that I looked better than the last time we had seen each other. I honestly felt disgusted talking to him. Then, he dropped a nuke on me. He said that for all these years, he hasn't stopped thinking about me. I was silent. I couldn't say a word. He kept saying that he missed me and my cooking. How my homemade French onion soup was still his favorite. I didn't know what to say. At that moment David noticed that my ex was making me uncomfortable, and he rushed towards me with a fake emergency. He asked if I was okay. I said yes. I walked away without saying goodbye. After the table setting was done, I was about to leave. That's when I saw my ex's father, along with other guests. He noticed me, and quickly came to give me a hug. He was always a very humble man, and was one of the only people who supported me during the divorce with his son. He looked really happy to see me, and asked me how I was. I talked to him about my business and he gave me some great business advice, which I still use frequently today. He even talked to my boyfriend. They got along very well. I told him that we had more deliveries to do that day, and that we had to go. However, he insisted that I stay until lunch was served. I tried respectfully declining his offer, but he was persistent and I caved. It was only another hour or so I wasn't too worried. I did notice my ex eyeing me the whole time, but I was fine since I had David there with me. I chatted with some guests, and they told me they would definitely recommend my services to other people. I didn't even stay for the cake cutting. I started feeling overwhelmed. I saw some of my old friends, and my in-laws. My ex-mother-in-law avoided me, and some of my old friends only mustered a hello. We went back to the store, and I thought it would be finished. Well, it wasn't. I got another text from Kylie. I'd already blocked her on her main phone, so she was now texting me from a friend's number. She said she and the guests really liked my cakes and desserts, and also tried apologizing again. I don't know how much clearer I could have made it that I didn't want to talk to this woman. I told her I had no interest in being friends, and unless it was to order another cake, not to contact me ever again. I haven't heard from her again after that, but her 5-year-old daughter is having a birthday soon, so I'm guessing this isn't the end of it. There is a silver lining though. My services aren't exactly what you might call cheap. For 11 cakes, 250 donuts, and 250 cupcakes, their bill came to roughly $5,000. Luckily, they didn't scam me, and I was paid the next day. I was able to buy some new equipment for my store, and the order brought in a bunch of new customers. Fast forward to the present. We've now expanded into 5 new locations in 3 different cities. As for Kylie and my ex, they broke up many years ago after my ex cheated again. They split custody of the kids, and are living separately. I still keep in contact with my ex's father, and a few years back sent him a couple $1,000s as a thank you for his advice. Life is good.